21. That's Lawrence Holt, and he is one of our travellers. Dunbartonshire, nice to see Lawrence down here, the Northern Bangers crew. 32131 needs no introduction. That's called Jason Jackson, Boxer Jack, a current day winner and a late entry to the programme. The 515, Willie Irvin, 33 of course, with that big exclamation mark. We were just debating earlier on as to whether he might be one of the more elderly of the drivers out there in an actual relative. That's Simon Reed, of course, 700, Mark Glenister, and he's born favourite back with us in car number 700, Spud Gun, 368 from Southampton back up here. He has donated a lot of cars to a lot of people. Robic in the 131. Hello there, young man. That's Pete Hammer. You've seen him in the rookie bangers, as you might call them, here from time to time with a new paint job. Tony Sims, 73, usually a little different colour from that. In the number 500, we've got Bill Wenham. Hi Bill, welcome to Arlington with the Metal Wreckers. 152, we'd have thought that was Graham Poulter back in the day, wouldn't we? But that's James Dillon, Mr. Grumpy, all the way from Edinburgh in Scotland. Good to see you here, Jim. 192, Fathead, as he is known to himself and his friends, and that is Stuart Warby. 794 behind that too. So Keefe has sourced one of the very old Austin Westminsters from the 50s, an 895 model, if I'm not much mistaken, with an 890 behind that with a shorter boot, I'm told. 315, Jack Holmes. 46, Maverick with a most impressive machine. Somebody told us that Keith Painter, aka Little Maverick, is talking about hanging up his crash, aren't we? We can't quite believe that. We'll hope that we can ask him that question later on. 67, Mark Whittaker. 819, Porky Paul Pearson. And Paul, one of the greybeard racers, tempted back to have a little go. Wow, that's an impressive hat now then. It's Steve O, your man, from the far side of Dublin there in the 388 with the green hat to boot, and his many buddies behind there. They're having a great time, the Irish lads. Mark Hughes, another Republic of Ireland special, and 484 behind him. We've got Darren Capel, the control car over to. We've still got many cars, keep them coming out here, why don't you? In the number 16, actually programmed as 816, Mike Flaherty, another of the Irish boys. 402 is escaping me just in a minute from Nick Manners. 25, Tomo, of course, Mark Thomas, and we are back Flint with the 366. And the second rank of cars coming round. 360, Jack Reynolds. 409, Joey Collins. Of course, a semi-regular here at Arlington. Brian Mullen, another of Ireland's finest in that well-painted Westy. 133, Carly Day for the Bears. We'd be very surprised if there wasn't at least one bear here tonight. Finbar Saunders, with or without his double entendres, in the 346. 533 behind that. And 533 is Sid Herzog. And Sid is an old stager from up in the northwestern part of the country where they used to race at that big old Crew Shale Way, and these days Sid doesn't come out very often. When he does, he likes to do it in something classic. Number 4, Phil Brooks, and that's a smart oldie, around about a 1955, so you're looking at some seriously old motor cars out there tonight. 796, Dave Steeds from the Wacky Racers. You're no mistaking those big graphics on that one. Now 480, that's a bit more like I remember bangers looking back in the day. Kane Cable has gone for the retro look. Well done, Kane, that is absolutely how I would have painted a banger back in those days. 173, Steve Reynolds. Hey Steve. 290 behind that, and that's Jay Tompkins, all the way from Cornwall. Sunday Raceway is what he calls home. 488, Rodders, my boy. 833, Beefy behind that in the all-white one that has obviously seen a little bit of action at some time in the recent past. 88, and late entry from the Kinston Cowboys, Mark Palmer. 395, the West Howe Warrior, or in this case the Westy Howe Warrior, that's Joe Donworth, no stranger to Arlington, and neither was the man behind. 658, Tim Langrish, used to race here a lot back in stock car days, with 100E Ford, popular among other things. Number 3 is Alex Clemens from Eastleigh. Oh, keep coming. Lots and lots and lots of old material, Jim. You're going to enjoy this up there. These boys are going to be plenty to talk about once they get onto the racetrack for real. Andy Gruff drives the 209, 304, nice looking yellow paint job for Alan Tibbs. Where the cat crept in, I'm sure has some significance, so we'd probably best not delve into. 727 is Simon Young in the Bandits colours of the day. And looking very good, that car does too. 280, we've got Simon Goodale, Slicko. Races most of the time up at King's Lynn in Norfolk. Well done, Slicko, nice to see you here. 190 is Dominic Gumbleton, and Dominic, he's been here on behalf of the Wacky Racers, a time or two. Jerry Ansell, good evening, young man. Are you all right? Good. Number 5, Spike and the Warlords, Mark Kelly. 216 behind that, more Warlords, they are pouring out. Nigel Baker in the 216, 517 and 518, the consecutively numbered Weldons, Scott and Mark. And good to see them here, don't see them too often at Arlington. Great to see them on this occasion. 313, John Collingford, another of Norfolk's finest.
Well, look, whoever won and gave it to a couple of kids, so that's nice.
Draws breath. The Millen crew come next. Now they were here relaxing earlier and already had the barbecue fired up. And good to see a lot of people having a really good social occasion out in the pits here at Arlington. It's been treated very much as a big show. Well, the drivers, they've worked long and hard to get the cars, get them to work. One guy was saying that he'd spent them 5 months running around just looking for parts, trying to make the thing run. We'll catch up with 1 or 2 more of the drivers as we go. 583 needs no introduction. That is, of course, young Mr. Weeks, who will no doubt, and indeed being driven by Mr. Young Mr. Osborne, so that try not to crash it before the parade's over, please, if you don't mind. 404 Millsy, 821 behind that. We're up back to the high numbers again, is Rob Bennett. 917, the man with the highest number of all, is John Millen in the Brickmakers Grab Hire Westy. 924 behind that. Good evening, young man, good to see you here again. He's got a higher number than him. Now that's beaten me, because it's on my list. I'm going to catch up with you in a minute and have a word. We'll see what we can do. You've beaten Millen on the high number stakes. Clyde Williams from the Anthill Mob at 136, 564, Mark Cooper. Keep coming, there are lots of cars to come. A man who is a regular, indeed doesn't live too far away, just down there on Romney Marsh. 379, Aidy Clifton. 57, glorious George Draper, aka Boris, in a fine looking car. Takes a lot to tempt Boris out for a race these days, and this was going to be the beating. That would do it for sure. There was no way he was going to stay at home for this one. Behind that in the 85, we have another addition to your programme. I think, oh, that's James Ellis, entered as 885, and of course behind him is his gorgeous partner, 703 Danielle Hewitt. Danielle is the only lady racer here tonight in the Westminster. She gives a good account of herself in national back. Far out of Orpington, and in London Saturday afternoon traffic, that's probably not a good thing. 514, Marty 18, 322 is Trigo, James Newland. Pop is about, he'll be on the trophy presenters too, and he raced here many a meeting. Gary Pilcher drives car 599, and 66 is Mark Rogers. 627 behind that. Now, I didn't know this guy was going to race, but it's great to see him again. Terry Coke, ladies and gentlemen, last seen in a V8 stock car a few seasons back, and has been tempted out of retirement completely. The Yateley commercials, and indeed the traditional Australia-based pin plate of the Melbourne team from way back in the day. Tony Scott Hamby drives car 134, of course. And we've got 474 just come to join the fray. That's Matty Threlkeld, all the way down from Carlisle. So he's just an Englishman, just about. One of the long haul brigade, along with the rest of his mates. Kieran Carton, now he is Irish, but he lives here. So I don't know if it qualifies him to actually be Irish or English for this occasion. But Kieran, welcome back in the car 71. He's won races here before. And no doubt will again. Number 14, Mark Lee. We've got the 108 of John Covey. Still they come. Just to explain, just in case you don't know, that I suppose the Austin Westminster was kind of the bank manager's favourite of the day, and well-to-do shopkeepers and people would have brought themselves a Westminster to treat themselves for their fine business practices. 6 cylinders under the bonnet, a great big solid lump of cast iron that used to propel a truck before they ever put it into a car. It ended up in the MGC in the end with several carburetors, and there was a Rolls-Royce engine version similar to possibly to the big number 173 with that kind of grille, the Princess R, a 4-litre Rolls-Royce motor, which 1 or 2 of the gentlemen here have substituted with something a little more obtainable, such as a Triumph. A few engine swaps have been permitted just to get them out on the track. But the Westminster, very much a respectable chariot on the road in the day, and now these days a sought after collector's item. They won't be collecting these, but all the bits and pieces that get knocked off these cars and have been taken off these cars to go racing will come in, no doubt, most of them, to help them put a classic car back into the shows. Car 42, come out, Paul Sammett, and that looks very much classic with white all tyres and all. 33,
That's a black
Simon Reed.
Please.
And another 33 as well, just to confuse things, is the 833 of Ian Frogley. There's a lot of smoke there from somebody now. His engine is looking a little bit loose, you might say. 216 Nigel Baker we've already seen. And I imagine that these gentlemen here are lining up for race number 1. Let's just see who we've got here. Peter, are you out in the first one? You're out in race number 3. So you're out here just in case. You get the car too hot. No, you don't. That's very wise. Doesn't want to get the car too hot. And I think one or two of them are already starting to feel the pace. Okay then, let's have a quick word with old Marco over here then, because he's definitely an Eastbourne man, and it's good to be, I've no doubt, back in front of the fans. Now then, not lost your touch, have you? Have you given it? You're still with the historic stock car, but this was too much to be expected you to pass this up on that. Yeah, too good to turn down, wasn't it, really? You just to look far for this one, you found a few cars for other people as well, didn't you? Southampton. I haven't found any more for anyone else. Yeah. I'd rather give it to me. Well, that's not bad. Westy for nothing, you lucky dog. This isn't bad. We've heard of some outrageous prices being paid. We've had one lucky man who said that he was erecting a steel building somewhere in something. And from his cherry picker over the orchard fence, he saw Westy laying in a garden and got that one for a remarkably cheap fee. So Mark Glenister, ladies and gentlemen, Eastbourne man, good and true. Been racing here for many a long year in one.